April 2025, Frisco, Texas, track meet, rain. A tent that didn't belong to him. Karmelo Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf in the chest. June 2026, a jury says murder, 35 years. Then the appeal file opens and the phone messages come out. A knife photo, quote, I'm low-key on the verge, and that line about stabbing somebody and licking the blood off the blade. Those messages were not in front of the first jury. So I want y'all to watch the dad first, and then I want you to watch who still wants a parade. Now, Metcalf is not doing a press tour for sympathy. I want to say that. He's answering a question about race, and he takes it home.
I think he said some foolish things, some crazy things, but at least you know where he's standing. And at least he's honest about what he's saying. At least he's standing on business. Listen to Jeff Metcalf take accountability for his son's behavior and actions. Roll the clip.
For the first time since the judge denied the appeal of Karmelo Anthony, we're hearing from the father of Austin Metcalf about new details released in court.
Gut-wrenching.
Jeff Metcalf says he didn't know all the accusations about his son's behavior. In court, lawyers say Austin Metcalf previously got in trouble for graffitiing KKK, kill all black people, used the N-word, and bullied a black student.
The stuff that came out, I'm not proud of my boys for doing that. They got punished at home for that behavior. I don't condone it. It's not what I believe.
Jeff Metcalf, who has faced
I would pay $1,000 right now to Karmelo Anthony's family if they would come out and say the same thing that he just said. I don't condone it. It's not right. I'm not proud of it. And I've disciplined them for the behaviors that they've bestowed or they've shown. I want to hear Karmelo Anthony or any other black person. Now, I'm going to give you $1,000. It's just his family. But any other black person that's in here defending Karmelo Anthony, how about you say you don't condone his behavior? You don't condone him bringing a gun to school, drugs. You don't condone him trying to bring a gun to a state fair. You don't condone the message of him talking about killing his girlfriend and all this other crazy stuff he was doing. But the problem is, these type of people cannot take accountability for anything.
Criticism for his own racist comments, said at an event for the foundation he started in Austin's name that he doesn't want people to judge his son only on a snippet of his life.
I would ask these people, did you know my son personally?
The appeal also contained new revelations about Karmelo Anthony, including that he threatened an ex-girlfriend and texted repeatedly about violence, including writing, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade." In a new statement to ABC News, Anthony's attorney says his legal defense is not intended to diminish Austin Metcalf's life or his family's grief. These new details from court were kept secret as part of a deal the lawyers made before the trial, which Jeff Metcalf says he didn't know about.
Do I wish it would have come out? Yeah.
From both sides, you wish all the information come out.
Look, when you got 20 pages versus 75, and then these words versus these words.
He says if a jury knew, he thinks they would have doubled Anthony's sentence.
And, you know, I get accused of taking sides. I'm just a rational person. If I'm not looking at either one of these boys' colors or nothing.
Hold that. A man whose son is in the ground still found the words, "I don't condone it." Democrat media trained a whole generation to treat that sentence like a trap when it comes from the wrong last name. And like violence when you ask the other family for it. That's not justice, man. That's not at all. That's quite literally a costume. If Austin's worst pages belong in the file, Karmelo's group chat belongs in that same file. Not because of skin. No, because a blade and a daydream about licking blood is not a snippet. That's a mind literally rehearsing. I don't know what else to add to that. Left rhetoric needs Austin to be the story's villain in the footnotes so Karmelo can stay a child in the headline. And, you know, the witnesses that day, including black ones, said Austin asked him to move politely. You know, politely or aggressively. That's neither here nor there. The texts are not about that afternoon's weather. They're about appetite. You know, a funeral did not cancel this man's standards. Don't let a hashtag cancel yours. So after the father talks like a father, we go outside.
To let them see that, you know, we're not forgetting about him. We're not turning our back on him. this is something that we want, because if they don't give him a fair trial, as they have already not given many others a fair trial, they're going to continue to do that. We have to remember. That's right. And we have to remember, Worski said that this is how they do business here. So we have to let them know, well, that business ain't going to continue to work. We have to change that. And the only way we can change that is actually showing up boots on the ground. It's all good, you know, to protest, shout and everything, but no.
Okay. So this is what failed ideology looks like when it leaves the comment section, in my opinion. The ruling is murder. And they still are out here, you know, basically chanting, release him. Basically, I ain't hear them say it, but I'm just saying they rallying together to free him on that idea, you know, or release him, whatever, you know. That's not mourning, right? If anything, that's a political product. Democrats spend years teaching that a crowd with the right slogans outranks a verdict. Then they act shocked when the crowd doesn't go home after 35 years. You can hate the sentence and still admit a knife at a school meet is not a misunderstanding. These folks need the story more than they need the boy. Stories don't do time. People do. They obviously don't show up to weigh evidence. They show up to try to keep the mascot alive. Now the part they booked as leadership. Y'all remember this? I want y'all to see Terrence's take on this.
The new Black Panther Party. And we're going to get their view on today's recusal of the judge.
Oh, Black Power, yeah. Well, it's about goddamn time. All power to the people. That's the first step. Now we need for Karmelo to be released. All of the racist acts that took place under Judge Roach, from them not letting people come into the courthouse when it's supposed to be a public hearing, from them not giving the jury instructions on self-defense, so Karmelo would have never got a murder case in the first place. He would have had the jury would have had the option of manslaughter, from the racism.
Okay, so let me get this straight, okay? This is the new Black Panther leader. This right here, what I'm looking at right in front of me, this is the new leader for the black community? What is she Oh, Lord, I'm trying to be nice, okay? But you can't even breathe. How you gonna lead a community? You out here talking about you fighting for Karmelo Anthony. You can't even breathe. You fighting for your life. You want the black community to follow after you? Follow you where? To go to corral to all you can eat? Only place I'm following you to is Popeye's Chicken, because I know you know good and well where the good chicken is. I follow you to a good chicken spot, okay? But anyways, on a serious note, y'all, I'm so sick and tired of these because they ain't nothing but a bunch of racists. Yes, they are. And to all the people who say black people can't be racist, you a damn lie. Most of these people fighting for Karmelo Anthony are just a bunch of freaking racists. They want this black boy to be free because he killed a white boy. Because they don't think it's that serious. They don't take it. They don't care that he killed somebody because the boy was white. That sounds racist to me. But I'm getting sick and tired of these fake ass, excuse my language, okay? These little fake ass leaders who claim they care about black people. If y'all really cared about black people, speak up and say something about all the killing that is going on in Chicago. When you have children out there being gunned down, innocent kids, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. Elementary kids being gunned down, and y'all don't have shit to say. Not a damn thing. Oh, y'all quiet when it comes to black kids being gunned down in Chicago. Y'all know why y'all don't give a damn about that? Because those black kids are being killed by other black people, and y'all don't care about black people unless a white person is involved. And that right there is what you call racism. Because if you really cared about black people, you would go to Chicago, you would speak up about about a bunch of these cities in America where a lot of black on black crime is happening. You would speak up, and you would go to those communities, standing up to the gang members and the drug dealers. Y'all are fake. Y'all don't care about black people. Y'all don't give a damn about anybody. All you care about is making money by promoting racism and dividing people. And I'm sick of this shit. Karmelo Anthony is right where he belongs, in prison. And to be honest, he should be in there. As long as Austin is dead, Karmelo should be in prison. And Austin's not coming back. So Karmelo Anthony should not come out of prison. He should be in there until his last days. He don't deserve to be free. He killed an innocent boy. You don't bring a freaking knife to school to attract meat. You don't even do that. Who does that? Who brings a knife to school to stab somebody? A killer. And a killer belongs in prison. I'm sick of the racism coming from. I don't like anybody that's racist. If you white and racist, I don't like you. If you black and racist, I don't like you. I don't like no racism at all. I don't care who it's coming from. But right now, a lot of this racism is coming from these Karmelo Anthony supporters. A bunch of these racist ass black people. And I don't want nothing to do with y'all. I don't want anything to do with y'all.
Now, leadership, according to him, that can't finish a sentence is still asking you to overturn a body. Now, this is the Democrat racial machine with the mask off, all right? The identity is the argument. The dead teenager becomes an inconvenience. The knife becomes a, prop the community doesn't have to pick up. Call it what it is. The ideology, it does not produce fathers like Jet Metcalf. It produces microphones and excuses. It tells young men the highest moral act is never, disappointing the chant. That's how you raise defendants and call it liberation. Terrence isn't doing a bit here. He's pointing at, a church essentially that replaced commandments with skin. I'm just saying, man, if your revolution needs you out of breath and to kill out of prison and isn't a movement, that look like a tantrum with a logo attached to it. Now, same case, new magic trick. I want you to watch the judge change races in real time.
The whites are showing they low IQ. Now, how are we celebrating the new judge by celebrating the old judge being taken off the case because he's racist? Well, we already know it was another chance that another racist judge is going to be put up there. However, we wasn't celebrating that the new judge was up there, right? Think, motherfucker. Also, show me a picture, a comment, a post where I was celebrating the new judge being put up there. No, we were celebrating the motherfucker that was being racist and biased in the case getting taken away from the case. It seems that y'all can't stay out of black people business, and I feel sorry for y'all because y'all don't have no culture, no life, nothing unique about y'all. So y'all gotta be in our business. It's sad, Crackerjack. I know it's sad that nobody will fight for your little white life, but we're gonna continue to fight for Karmelo. Like, there's no stopping, babe.
Now, the road was holy when they thought recusal meant a redo. The road became Klan the minute it said no new trial. That's not a legal theory. That is a toddler's rule book with graduate school vocabulary. You know what I mean? Like, liberal rhetoric does this every single cycle. Institutions are I say, sacred until the scoreboard disappears or disappoints, or both. Then every referee is bigoted and every rule is violence. You don't get to baptize a judge on Friday, you know what I'm saying, and then, excommunicate him on Saturday because Karmelo stayed convicted. That's not speaking truth to power. That's shopping for a parent. Yeah, the judge didn't convert overnight. Your story's just lost, all right? Now, this is another person, no crowd to hide in.
Judge has just ruled in the Karmelo Anthony case saying no new trial. Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. What I don't understand so much about this trial is the fact of the matter. Y'all knew the first judge was biased as hell. Y'all pulled him off the case. George Roach off the case. Y'all took him completely off the case to get a new judge in, bring in some new information saying the reason why y'all feel like he should get a new trial, and then that information still not be good. Y'all basically still say, give him that 35, slap him in his face with 35. How, y'all? How, when everybody knows, maybe something different in different cultures, but me personally, I'm an African-American woman. In my culture, growing up, being raised, my mom and my dad and them told us that if somebody hit you, you hit them back. And if somebody was 2 or 3 sizes too bigger than you, you pick up something, you knock them out. You do whatever it is that you have to do to protect yourself at all costs. Me, myself, as a mother now, I teach my children the same thing. If they bigger than you, you know you can't whoop them and they trying to cause you some harm, pick up something and knock their ass out with it. I teach my children that now. So when this actually happens, this is what happened to our young men for defending themselves. That man, I'm going to forever say, Karmelo was in fear of his safety, and that's the reason why he reacted the way that he reacted. No, you can't make me believe he intentionally wanted that to happen to that young man. Y'all don't think that baby has to wake up, and I'm going to call him a baby because he ain't even lived life yet. That baby wants to wake up every day, and live through what he did over and over and over again, especially for the next 35 years of his life, because these people won't give him a fair trial, and he never had a fair trial. Nobody can't make me believe that trial was fair. They kept all the people out. He didn't have a jury of his peers. He didn't get up there to speak and say what happened his own self. Who knows better what happened than him himself? He never made it to the stand or none of that, y'all. Bias is held, the whole court case, the state of Texas, our judicial system, everything is a fucking joke, and they proved it over and over and over again. Prayers for Karmelo Anthony, y'all and his family. I pray they stay strong throughout this process, y'all, and I pray one day that young man gets to walk free, y'all, because this is way too much, and everybody knows it is. Thank y'all for sipping a limo tea with Auntie. Bye, y'all.
Now, feelings are real. But feelings are not emotion. Not emotion, emotion. Texas didn't deny her, personality. Texas denied a do-over after a jury already sat through a murder case. The Democrat habit is to treat every disappointment like newly discovered evidence. It isn't. It's the same facts with just worse lighting. It's like my lighting I'm having trouble with. But if your whole moral system collapses because one judge didn't give you the sequel, you were never watching a trial. You were watching a fandom. All right, this is the last one. This last one is the group chat coming true in 4K.
Recuse! Motion! Granted! Bitches is mad! Bitches is mad!
All right, so Karmelo Anthony was denied a new trial, and of course, that was the correct legal decision. In addition to being the correct legal decision, it was also the correct social decision.
Excuse me, everybody. I'm going to Streamer University, but most importantly, free Karmelo.
See, supporters of Karmelo Anthony believe that Karmelo was entitled to murder any white teenager that he felt like.
Karmelo Anthony is not getting a new trial. And after what came out in the court last week, I have questions.
This white judge that don't want to let this black innocent young boy go because he don't want to be the white judge that let a black boy go for offing a motherfucking white teenager in self-defense.
Whoa.
Has just ruled in the Karmelo Anthony case saying no new trial. Come on.
We're having some technical difficulties here. I think my internet just went out. Yeah, I think my internet just went completely out. However, I think we were able to gauge the point here. You know, they filmed the hope, then they filmed the no. That's why this montage hits harder than any, than another speech right now. You can watch a belief system expire in under 2 minutes right here. Recusal granted felt like deliverance for some, New trial denied feel like persecution. Same wig, same defendant, same stabbing. Ideology cannot survive a straight line. It needs a villain in the furniture. The jury, the judge, the suburbs, the weather, everything under the sun. Anything except the hand that held the knife and the thumbs that typed about blood. Hope is not a legal strategy. That's all I'm saying. And this compilation is not a conspiracy. So let me make this plain so nobody's confused. Two families got dragged through the same ugly year. One father got on camera and disciplined his own blood in public, graffiti, the slurs, the bullying, and said it was wrong. And he condemned it in his house. The other side has had months to look at the text about Blades and The Verge and still built the street ministry around Free Him. That gap is the double standard. Not a vibe, a gap. Democrat rhetoric sold Black America a cheap deal. If the defendant matches the flyer, character is racism and consequences is somehow now oppression. That deal keeps failing in real life because reality does not care about the flyer. A track meet is not a metaphor. A chest wound is not a think piece. A jury is not a plantation because it didn't vote like a timeline. You want something actually adult? Put both boys' worst pages on the table. Then talk. That's the only version of fairness that doesn't need a costume, right? I'm not asking you to enjoy 35 years. I'm asking you to stop pretending silence is dignity when the messages are that specific. Check on your kids, man. Check on your sons. Check on what they type when they think it's just a phone. Check on whether your politics require you to lie for strangers. So, if you made it to the end of this video, I think we should just leave it to a word that we always use. As a matter of fact, no. I want it to be a phrase. We don't lie for strangers. Or simply, we don't lie. And I'm going to leave you with Matthew 7:2. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.